Take a deep breath with me for a moment. Just pause. Wherever you are right now, whatever you're holding in your mind, numbers, charts, fears, expectations, let them soften for just a second. Because before we talk about gold, before we talk about silver, before we talk about crashes, warnings, or the possibility of prices falling 50%, we need to talk about something far more important. We need to talk about you, your state of mind, your health, your balance, your relationship with uncertainty. Throughout history, markets have risen and fallen, currencies have come and gone, and assets that once felt invincible have humbled those who believed they could only go up. Gold and silver are no different. They are not just metals, they are mirrors. They reflect our fears, our hopes, our mistrust of systems, and our desire for safety. When people rush into gold, they are not chasing shine. They are seeking certainty in an uncertain world, but here is a principle I've learned through decades of watching cycles repeat themselves. When too many people seek certainty in the same place, that place itself becomes fragile. Right now, many people are asking, is this the moment? Is this the crash? Is gold about to fall 50%? And the real danger is not the price moving up or down. The real danger is how emotionally attached we become to an outcome. Because when your emotional well-being is tied to a chart, your inner peace is already at risk. Markets breathe, they expand and contract just like our lungs. When we panic, we hold our breath. When we chase, we forget to listen. And when fear dominates our thinking, we stop seeing reality clearly. This is true in investing, and it is true in life. Think about your body for a moment. Stress tightens your muscles. Anxiety disrupts your sleep. Constant alertness weakens your immune system. Now ask yourself, what happens when you live in a constant state of financial fear? When every headline feels like a threat, when every dip feels personal, health is not separate from wealth. Emotional stability is not separate from decision-making. The greatest investors I've known weren't just smart, they were calm. They understood that the best decisions are made from a place of balance, not urgency. Yes, gold can fall, silver can crash. They have before. They will again. 50% moves are not impossible in any asset class. But the question that truly matters is this: will you fall with it? Will your confidence collapse? Will your sense of safety disappear? Or will you remain grounded, observant, and strong? Because life itself is a series of cycles. Youth and aging, growth and rest, effort and recovery. When we fight cycles, we suffer. When we learn to flow with them, we grow. Right now, many people are overexposed, not just financially, but emotionally. Overloaded with information, overstimulated by social media, overattached to predictions, and undernourished in stillness, reflection, and self-awareness. Let me share a truth that applies to both markets and the human body. Resilience comes from balance, not extremes. If all you consume is fear-based content, your mind becomes inflamed. If all you chase is protection, you forget how to live. Gold is meant to be a store of value, not a substitute for inner stability. Silver is a hedge, not a replacement for self-trust. The greatest danger warning is not a crash in metals. The greatest danger is outsourcing your sense of safety to anything outside yourself. When gold rises sharply, people feel smart. When it falls sharply, people feel betrayed. But gold has no emotions. It does not promise anything. It simply responds to forces larger than any one person: debt cycles, interest rates, confidence in governments, and human psychology. And here's where wellness enters the conversation. Your nervous system reacts to uncertainty the same way markets do. When overwhelmed, it becomes volatile. When rested, it becomes adaptive. When supported, it heals. So, if you're feeling anxious about a potential crash, that's a signal not about gold, but about your relationship with uncertainty. Ask yourself, am I diversified in life, or am I all in on one outcome? Do I have routines that ground me? Do I take care of my body? Do I give my mind space to rest? Do I make decisions slowly enough to respect reality? In investing, the people who survive long term are not the ones who predict every move correctly. They are the ones who stay emotionally neutral enough to respond wisely. The same is true for personal growth. If gold falls 50% tomorrow, the sun will still rise, your breath will still matter, your health will still be your greatest asset, and your ability to adapt will still define your future. Crashes clean success. They remove illusions, they reward humility, and while they can feel painful, they often create the conditions for the next phase of growth, both financially and spiritually. This is not a call to fear. This is a call to awareness. Use this moment to simplify, to reduce leverage not just in your portfolio but in your life. Reduce emotional leverage, reduce dependency on outcomes you cannot control. Increase your investment in sleep, movement, meaningful relationships, and clarity of thought, because the most valuable currency you have is not gold or silver. It is energy, mental energy, emotional energy, life energy. When you protect that, no market crash can take you down. So listen carefully, not to the noise, not to the predictions, not even to this voice, but to your inner signal. If something feels unbalanced, adjust. If something feels rushed, slow down. If fear is driving your decisions, step back. True strength is quiet, true wisdom is patient, and true wealth begins with inner peace. Cycles will turn, prices will move, headlines will change, but if you remain grounded, healthy, and self-aware, you will always be positioned for the next opportunity, whatever form it takes. And remember this, you are not here to survive markets. You are here to live a full, healthy, meaningful life. Let your investments support that life, not consume it. Breathe, stay present, respect cycles, take care of your body, protect your mind, and trust that clarity, not fear, is what carries you forward. Let's go even deeper now, because the most important transformations don't happen on the surface. They happen when we sit quietly with truth, especially uncomfortable truth. Uncertainty is not your enemy, it is your teacher. Every time markets shake, every time gold drops suddenly or silver moves violently, it is reminding us of something we often forget. Nothing external was ever meant to give us permanent security. Not money, not metals, not systems. Only adaptability lasts. Think about your own life. Every major growth you've experienced probably came after disruption, a setback, a loss, a moment where the future felt unclear, and yet here you are stronger, wiser, more where markets work the same way the human body work. When stress accumulates without release, something breaks. When excess builds without correction, collapse becomes inevitable. A potential gold crash isn't a failure of gold. It's a release of pressure, and pressure, when understood properly, is not destructive. It's transformative, but here's where many people suffer unnecessarily. They confuse volatility with danger. Volatility is movement, danger is fragility, and fragility comes from imbalance. If your sleep depends on gold prices, that's imbalance. If your peace depends on silver charts, that's imbalance. If your self-worth rises and falls with market predictions, that's fragility. So instead of asking, will gold fall 50%? Ask a better question. Am I prepared emotionally for any outcome? Preparedness is wellness. Preparedness is self-growth. Preparedness is freedom. Slow your breath again. Feel your body. Notice how calm creates clarity. This is the state where the best decisions are made. In my experience, people who thrive through every cycle are not the loudest or the most confident. They are the most centered. They don't fight reality. They observe it. They don't predict the future. They prepare for it. A preparation doesn't mean fear. It means humility. It means acknowledging that we don't control outcomes, but we do control how we respond, and response is everything. Your nervous system responds to fear instantly. Heart rate increases, muscles tighten, thoughts narrow. But when you train yourself to pause, when you build habits of stillness, you create space between stimulus and reaction. That space is power. This is why health is not optional. This is why wellness is not a luxury. A strong body supports a calm mind. A calm mind supports wise decisions. Wise decisions compound over time. Just like good investments, think of emotional health as diversification. You don't rely on one source for stability. You spread it across meaning, relationships, purpose, movement, and rest. So if gold crashes tomorrow, you still have your breath. If silver falls sharply, you still have your discipline. If markets shock the world, you still have your principles. And principles don't crash. Principles guide you when data becomes noisy. Principles ground you when fear spreads faster than facts. Principles remind you that life is bigger than any asset class. Right now, the world feels loud. Alerts, opinions, everyone shouting certainty in uncertain times, but certainty shouted loudly is often the weakest form of confidence. Real confidence is quiet. It doesn't need validation. It doesn't panic. It waits. Waiting is not passive. Waiting is active patience. It's caring for your health while others burn out. It's strengthening your mind while others chase noise. It's choosing peace when chaos is offered, and peace is not disengagement. Peace is clarity without attachment. So if gold rises again, appreciate it, but don't cling to it. If gold falls deeply, respect it, but don't fear it. Use every cycle as a mirror. Ask yourself, am I reacting or am I responding? Am I anxious or am I aware? Am I chasing safety or am I building resilience? Resilience is the ultimate hedge. Take care of your body, walk more, breathe deeply, sleep fully, nourish yourself with real food, real conversations, real moments of silence. These are not distractions from success, they are the foundation of it, because when you're healthy, you see clearly. When you see clearly, you act wisely, and when you act wisely, you don't need to predict the future, you're ready for it. Let the markets do what they do. Let cycles turn. Let prices fluctuate. Your job is simply, and far more important, stay grounded, stay healthy, stay humble, stay awake, and remember, the strongest position you can ever hold is inner balance. From that place, no crash can break you.